So it's time to go from an MK6 to an MK7. This is a 2016 GTI S. This is gonna be my new used daily driver. I want a car that I don't have to worry about so much, so modifications will be light. Obviously, I'll change the daytime lights because I want it to be LEDs. I'm gonna lower it because I feel like it's too high. What I plan to do with this car is give it a flash tune so that it'll be obviously much faster. I'm gonna start off with a stage 1 and then take it from there. If I feel like that's not enough power, then I'm gonna add some more. But the beauty of it is that with stage 1, I don't really have to modify anything. I don't have to add any bolt-ons and have all these parts cluttered all over my garage, right? I really don't want to do that right now. So minor things like that, you know. If I decide to do anything else in the future, then I'm just gonna take my time. But mild mods is really what this MK7 is all about because I need something that I could daily drive. So let's take a look at the MK7 and see what we got going here. You know, I'm not really too crazy about the front bumper because the previous owner had the front plate in the middle. What I plan to do is just if I put a plate, it will be on the side right here. Right on the corner. My gripe about this car is that, again, you know, the daytime lights is not LEDs. See, right there, the lights, as you can see. So these lights are not LED lights, you know. So I'm gonna remove these lights and put like an H15 on them, which is just to make it look better, especially when I'm driving. And like I said, I did have an MK6 in the past, and that one was very quick because it had the stage 2, so it had the downpipe, it had all the bolt-ons I needed to make it faster, so it was very quick. That's what I want to do with this car, and hopefully it does have that 210 horses, otherwise I'll be kicking myself, right? I'm gonna start it up and you can hear how it sounds. So it kind of has that cricket sound to it. I guess that's normal considering this is completely stock. So I'm planning to change that once I do the flash tune, right? But I'm not really going to do anything major to it. So that's how it sounds. Some kind of bird or rat like was living here. I don't know what. But, so I'll probably just remove this and I don't know, replace it or something. So another cool feature of the GTI is just like my MK6 is it already has these shocks. So every time I open, right, I don't have to worry about, you know, having to hold this up just like I do with all my JDM cars. So that's another convenient feature of having the GTI. I think this is decent. This one that I got is pretty good because the body is pretty straight. So let's go around and look. As you can tell, the body is very straight, right? Another thing I like about the GTI or the MK6 and 7s, actually the 7s, is this feature right here. You know, it's kind of like reminds me of like a semi-splitter, even though it's not a real side splitter, right? But it kind of gives you that flavor. So if you don't have the time or you don't really want to have to add like a side skirt, then at least you have some type of sort of flavor right there, you know. With my other cars, I had to do that, right? Like with my RSX, I had to put a side splitter. And it's just extra work, extra money too. But with this, you can kind of get away with just leaving it alone, right? So the tires are 225/40/18, which is pretty good for a stock car, right? With a FRS, for instance, I had to put bigger wheels and tires because I had like what, 16s in there, and so I had to put at least 17s. Here, stock wheels is already 18, so 18-inch alloys is pretty good for stock. Do I want to replace the wheels? Yeah, but am I going to do it? I'm not sure yet. It just depends, right, on the budget. So, but for stock, 18-inch with 225 40 18s is pretty good. The brakes, everything is very basic, right, because it's stock. I'm used to having like Brembo brakes, especially on my FRS and my Evo. Another thing I like about this is on the mirrors, right? The side mirrors, you have the turn signal lights right here. So I think that's cool. The only thing I don't like about the wipers is that it doesn't go all the way out. See, it always stops, right? So that's what I don't like about the wipers. It doesn't go all the way up. You know, I'm used to cars where I can just raise the wipers and leave it up, so then I can clean the windshield, right? But here it doesn't go all the way up, so it's kind of annoying. Another thing I like about these MK7s, the style with the logos or the GTI right here. It has that red flavor on the GTI name here in the front too. Okay. Right, boom. But do I want to black out the logo and the GTI? I'm not sure. We'll see, you know. Those are just minor aesthetic things that is easy to do. So we'll see if I really want to go that route. Either way, I like that red trim. Obviously for the GTIs, just like my MK6, you don't need a key to access the gas. And you know, that's cool, it's more convenient, but I feel like, you know, not that I'm super paranoid, but if somebody wanted to mess you up, right, they open your gas or take your gas or whatever, it's easy, anyone can do it. So that's the only thing about not having keys for your gas cap or your gas door, fuel door. And I wasn't thinking about replacing the exhaust, but the way these look, they don't look pretty good. So I don't know, maybe I would either get a newer set of stock exhaust, or I might just replace it and put a catback, right? But I don't really want to spend 1,500 bucks for a catback exhaust. So something that I got to think about. I want to do something about these tips though. They don't look very nice, as you can see. So maybe I'll replace them. I think overall it's pretty good because the body's straight, so I don't really have to do any kind of body work to it. So you want to kind of look for that when you get a used car, right? I mean, I've had cars in the past, like the RSX, where I had to do body work and repaint and stuff like that. But it just depends on the value, right? How much can you get it for, and is it worth it, and all that. So you have to take those things into consideration. I feel like at least with this, it's turnkey, then I don't have to worry about doing any kind of body work because everything is straight. Yeah. Okay, let's go check out the interior. So, what I like about the MK7, it has the light illumination supposedly. So this thing right here, that thing lights up at night, so which is cool, right? Because you get a little strip right there, gives it a little bit more flavor. I like it because it feels solid, you know, compared to other cars, and I'm used to like JDM cars. It doesn't feel as solid and as nice as a GTI. And considering this car is not really that expensive anymore, brand new, they were what, 27,000 out the door. But now, you know, you can get them for half the price, and it's pretty decent. The value that you get out of this car is pretty good. Now, I like the steering wheel. It's leather wrapped. It always feels good when I'm driving. I have this with my MK6 as well, so it's very comfortable. But just the way the interior feels, it feels solid, you know. Yeah, I like these seats because I feel like they're more functional than the leather seats, because the leather seats, when it gets hot, it gets real sticky and everything. I don't like the way it feels. So I'm still getting used to everything in here, This one is the S, right? It's not the SE, so it doesn't have the push button. So it's just a very basic model. It doesn't have the sunroof, which kind of sucks, but you know, at least it's lighter, right? My MK6 had the sunroof, but you know, I don't really need it. I wish it was 4-door, but it still has enough room back here, you can see. It's just harder to get in because, you know, you just have 2 doors, right? But for what I'm going to use it for, it should be all right. What else? Yeah, it's got power windows, power mirrors, all the basic stuff. Oh, one big thing for me is the DSG, because I'm used to manual cars. So every car I've had has been like a manual car. So I'm not used to automatics or paddle shifters and stuff like that. But I said I'm willing to give it a try because you're supposed to be able to shift faster with a DSG, right? So I'm still playing with it. It's still something that I'm really trying to get used to. Maybe because I'm underwhelmed with having only 200 horses on this when I'm so used to stage 2 on my previous GTI. So I'm gonna have to flash this car, right? Make sure that it has enough horsepower for my needs, at least for my personal needs. But other than that, I think everything is good, everything is clean, you know. One feature I like about this GTI is that there's pretty much compartments right here. You could put your shades, right? Obviously there's compartments right here. So another cool compartment that the previous owner has mentioned to me, and I didn't even know this. I don't think the MK6 have this. I don't know, but on the MK7 you have a nice secret compartment right here underneath. Boom. See right there? And you could put some stuff in there, you know, like maybe secret stash. You have some cash with you, your wallet, your phone. You could just put it right here underneath the seat. So I think this is a pretty cool feature on the MK7s. Let's check out the back. It's a standard hatch, right? What I like about the hatchbacks is you could just open the back and then just start putting stuff inside, right? Just put the seats down, and there's so many things that you can carry with you, not just luggage, but tools, things like that. So it's pretty roomy, I think. The GTI is just one of those cars that is very practical. What I wish I had on this car though was the rubber mats back here, which I had on the MK6. The MK7 doesn't have it. You have the rubber mats right here. Here, see? Right there, right? Those rubber mats. And so I wish it also came with the rubber right here, because like I said, you know, it's very cool to have, and it's waterproof, especially when you're doing grocery shopping, things like that. You won't have like, it's easier to clean as well when you have the rubber mats even back here. Oh, the only thing missing is the cover. The cover for the hatch, but it won't really matter because my windows are tinted, so no one's really gonna look inside, right? Some people like to do the wiper delete, and I did that before on my other car, like the RSX, but I think it's too much trouble to do that, and I'm just gonna leave it stock the way it is right here. I think it's probably better. I don't really want to mess with it. The infotainment is kind of basic. It's very similar to the MK6, the way the setup is, right? I mean, it's just kind of like a no frills dash, or whatever you want to call it. There's really not much in here. You just, you know, there's, right, phone, you got voice, you got media, you know, car setup. You know, you just kind of play with it. Kind of gives you a bunch of choices just for the tires and stuff like that. Vehicle selection, stats. This is a feature that I kind of like with this car, because it allows you to look at like a selection, like right here, vehicle status, for instance, right? And then right here tells you the doors are open, you know? So it tells you kind of what's wrong with your car when you go to the vehicle status right here. some GTIs have the sport that tack and stuff like that for boost, but I don't think this one has it. I'm not sure. I haven't really figured that out yet. But it shows you driving data, you know, tells you I got like 200 miles left on my gas, miles per gallon, speed, that kind of stuff, you know. So consumption, I mean, just certain things that might be helpful, tips and stuff like that. Vehicle settings right here, right? Vehicle settings, which is you want to change your factory. Here it tells you, well, it tells you when the inspection is due, 528 days, or oil change is due in 9,600 miles or 163 days. So the service things, they're kind of helpful, you know. There's things that you can use for just help you in terms of maintenance and stuff like that. Phone, right? Menu. So whatever images you have, photos or whatever. I mean, sound, app, think blue, right? Save easy or whatever. It says right there, comfort mode. Let's roll. I'm still getting used to this, this media thing, you know? It's weird. I think this thing has a CD player too. So this is the CD player right here, CD player. And then you could put like a SD card. Again, this is the S model, so it's very standard, right? There's really nothing fancy. Like I said, there's no start button. You know, automatic is not really something that I like to drive, but this is gonna be a daily, right? Especially traffic time. I don't want to hassle with it. This is, you press this, it goes to sport or drive or manual. So that's how it works. Drive, sport, manual. Right now that's drive. As you can see, the D, drive, sport, manual. Okay, that's how it is. And I kind of wish that this was like the newer ones, maybe the 7.5 and up, where it's just like a digital dash and then it shows you a big like D and S and M in the middle. This one is you know, it's not as big, so I have to look, right? The letter's not that big, but if you have like the newer ones where they have the bigger dash, then you can just see it right in front of you. So let me go ahead and test drive the GTI and see how it feels. Okay, so it's a pretty normal car, you know. It shifts, I guess, the way it should for an automatic. Again, I'm just not used to the lack of power because I was used to stage 2, right? So anyway, normal driving, it feels like it's okay as expected. Let's try to put it on sport mode, right? And see how it feels. Well, it definitely revs higher than just a regular mode car. I think in sport mode, it likes to rev a little bit more. So I guess that means it's a little bit faster, right? So. I guess in sport mode, it's definitely faster than drive mode, than regular mode. So I would probably use sport mode more often than drive mode, just because, you know. Now let's try manual mode. Manual mode, I still need to get used to it, right? Again, I'm not used to DSG, as I mentioned. I'm used to driving a manual car. But I'm sure it's probably more comfortable to have an automatic, especially when you don't want to keep shifting, right? There's just stop and go traffic. It's kind of annoying sometimes. Okay. Let's see if I could rev up higher. Let's see. All right, I can see the appeal of driving Tiptronic or driving paddle shifters, because again, you know, you don't have to depress the accelerator. You can just keep on shifting, and you control the red line, right? You control the RPM range. If you want to keep going till 5 or 6, that's up to you. You know, if you don't want to, then you just shift sooner. You could downshift. So in that aspect, it's similar to a stick shift. It's just that you got paddle shifters right here. See? So it's like a toy, you know, like when you're playing those PS5 games. Okay, let's see. So, I mean, it's just 210 horses, and I'm still very conservative with my pulls. You know, I'm not really even just going over 5 and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm used to, like, with the S2000, right? So that's more high revving motor and stuff like that. VTEC, as you call it. But this car's turbocharged, and it's going to be faster than the VTEC cars that I've had before. You know, the driving feeling of the GTI is, it's a car that you can drive anywhere, right? I can take this when I go training, go to the gym, when I go competition, when I look for houses, when I go grocery shopping, or when I go a little faster. I could do that once I get this car tuned. And I can't really say that about a lot of my other cars. You know, with my FRS, it was turbocharged, but that's something I take to the tracks. In terms of the turns, I can take the turns better. This car, that's the thing about the GTIs, is not like the Golf Rs, right? And if I lower it, I have to be mindful, you know, if I'm gonna replace my shocks as well later on. It's just not good at cornering, the GTIs. So you have to add stuff to it. But other than that, it's a good daily driver, you know, all around kind of car. So I don't want to go too crazy like I have in the past with, you know, all the modifications. A little bit of fun, but yet you don't really have to waste too much gas. So overall, I think the drivability and comfort is really why I chose to do the MK7 as well. You know, less hassle, just something that you don't have to worry too much about. It's a little bumpy even with the stock shocks and springs, but you know, it's not a, this car is not, it's not a luxury car, so what do you expect? And I'm used to lowered cars, so this is no big deal to me. So overall, I think it's good enough to daily. For this GTI, the MK7, I'm not really gonna go crazy in terms of what I'm gonna add to it, because my lifestyle has changed now. You know, there's so many other things that I'm doing aside from fixing the house, adding all these other things. So I'm not really gonna modify the MK7 too much. I'm just gonna do minor things, right? I'm gonna replace the daytime bulbs because I don't like the way it looks. I like LEDs. I'm gonna lower it a little bit because it looks too high. I might do something about the exhaust, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna put a full cat back because I don't know, it might be overkill. I'm not sure yet. The wheels, I don't know yet. I like the stock ones, but if there's a good deal, yeah, I'll get wheels, but I'm not gonna do anything crazy to it. I'm definitely gonna do a flash tune. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add the downpipe and maybe add some other things. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the air filter because it's not really adding that much power at all. So why even do it? I'm not sure yet. That's more aesthetic if I still decide to pop my hood and things like that. Really, it's all about just minor mods on this car and making sure that it's still a daily driver. That's really the purpose of the MK7 right here. And that's why I like these GTIs, because they're comfortable to drive, you can take them anywhere, they're practical, and yet you can make them fast, real easy and real cheap. If I decide to add other things, then I will. If not, I don't know, because I'm always changing cars anyways, right? I might purchase another car. Maybe I'll get a classic car to have or a faster car later on. I don't know. So with the GTI, I'm just gonna keep it basic, make sure that it's always reliable, and then take it from there. So that's the plan for this car. Nothing crazy, just something easy to tune and easy to drive. That's the plan. So that's a wrap with the 2016 GTI S. Till next time, stay safe and keep on rolling.